Righto, morning all. Here I am. Day, can't remember my vlog, that's the one. Now, what I thought I'd do is take a bit of a trek just down the east coast from Hull to a very well-known resort. It's actually called the Blackpool of the East Coast, and I think you probably guessed it by now. It's Skegness, Skeggy, it's got all sorts of names, but anyway, I'm at Skeggy. And there's the beach over there. I'm just a little river at Skeggy looking over onto the beach. Yeah, lovely little beach. A bit muddy, but yeah, there is sand there somewhere, probably underneath the mud. But yeah, so Skeggy. It's a seaside town in Lincolnshire, and believe it or not, it was Billy Butlin's first holiday resort, opened in 1936. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Butlins, but Dawn and I used to go to Butlins at Skeggy for their Soul and Tamla weekends, and fantastic do's it was as well. Anyway, the name Skegness indicates its origin from a Danish settlement, and is mentioned in the Domesday Book. And during the Civil War, Royalists were forced into Skegness by parliamentarian forces under the responsibility of the Earl of Warwick. Now, Skeggy primarily was a fishing village until the railways came in 1875, and then brought thousands of holiday makers to the seaside. In the Victorian era, as you're probably aware, the introduction of holidays, so people then suddenly found a way of getting to the coast on the trains. And in 1996, an alleged UFO incident took place, but of course the authorities discounted it as it was Venus bright in the sky, but who really knows. So, famous people. The Jolly Fisherman, which is a town icon. So when you get a Skeggy, you'll see this really jolly character with a big set of the sou'wester, I think it is, and a pair of big old fishy boots. Captain John Smith, who's an explorer, and Sir John Franklin, who was an explorer. It's funny how, if you look at the east coast, you've got explorers from like Skeggy, then you've got explorers from King's Lynn. Yeah, I suppose it's being near the sea helps. Yeah, anyway, answer to my quiz question yesterday. Those that replied, yes, you were quite right. William Wilberforce was instrumental in the abolishment of slavery, and I believe in the UK. If you remember, Abraham Lincoln was instrumental in abolishing it in the States, and he paid for that by being assassinated. So now, before I got here, I stayed in a pub overnight, and it's a bit of a trek coming down the east coast, and it was called the Jolly Goer Restaurant. So I sat down and I said to the chef, "Why is it called Jolly Goer?" And he said, in a sort of Asian accent, "You eat my food, you go a toilet very quickly. Nice grub, bit salty." Anyway, now let's have a look at someone a bit closer to home that we know. Oh, look at this! Look, that's the pilot. I think the pilot cutter coming up the Ouse from the wash. Yeah. Look at that. Fantastic. Here's a little story for you. In 946, not a quarter to 10, I hasten to add, Knut Thor Bjorn Odin Ragnar waded ashore with his bloodthirsty mob and set about pillaging and plundering before coming across some of the locals. Led by a female chieftain known as Vi Skeg von Veneranda Hanley. A short battle ensued, where Ragnar and his mob got a sound thrashing. Those who survived fled, those who were captured were offered death or winges. They asked what was winges and were told it was a night in Hanley's tent. All looked at the fearsome Hanley standing in just a loincloth with her enormous wombshes swinging there, hands on hips with a glint in her eye. And because they were randy Vikings, immediately selected winges. However, one brave Viking thought, "I don't really fancy that," so elected death. Anyway, a cry rang out from Hanley's team. They beat their drums and banged their gongs and in unison screamed, "Death by winges!" See you tomorrow.